Okay, welcome to the Chain Link Project video series. This is creating a drawing part 1, where we're going to take a part, in this case our link from our Chain Link project, and we are going to create a technical drawing so that we can show all the mathematical details and all the measurements in a nice two-dimensional format. So the first thing you need to do is go ahead and open up your Chain Link project and just open up the link. We're not going to worry about the pin because that's relatively simple. This is what we really want to concentrate on with this particular video. So on this, make sure you've gone in here and you have changed everything to fit parameters for the chain link. Some of you may not have all the proper parameters. It might be longer than 40 millimeters, and maybe wider than 20 millimeters, and maybe taller than 20 millimeters. You've got to make sure you get all that stuff fixed before you start your drawing. Okay, so once that's all done, I need to create a drawing. So on the first page of your handout, second section, it says create the drawing. We're going to go up to the file command, which is up here in the command menu. We'll click on file and come down here to make drawing from part. Now at this point, once we do this, things are going to get weird. And it does mention the directions about this. Click OK. That's nice to know. We keep getting that, I know. Okay, so now you're going to get this sheet format size pop-up that's going to come up. Now this is where things are going to get really, really strange. My computer does it automatically. It doesn't matter what I have checked in here. When I use a standard sheet size, I get this list of stuff. You may have a list of 5 documents, and B ANSI landscape isn't even chosen because that's the one we are going to use, as you can see from the third bullet point under creating the drawing. So if that doesn't happen, come up here and toggle this a little bit. It might be checked, so uncheck it. If it's unchecked, click check. As you can see with me, it doesn't change the list, although it does change the size of the list. So when it's checked, I've got fewer stuff, but when I uncheck it, it adds more stuff to it. I've got all these extras. But what we want is we want B ANSI landscape to start. So I'm going to highlight that and click OK. And then you'll notice at the bottom of the page that you have in your handout, we have something now that looks like this. So here's our entire sheet. And we have our properties manager over here all ready to go. And then over here, we have all our different views that we could import into the body area of our drawing. A couple of things before we get started. We're going to come down here to the lower right-hand corner, and we're going to select MMGS. So that when we use Smart Dimension, everything will be in millimeters. As you notice, the moment I did that, this menu closed. We'll open it later. We're not going to worry about it now. We're going to worry only about the sheet format today. Okay, a couple of things about the sheet itself. This is roughly 11 by 17 piece of paper. This is the 17. This is the 11. Some areas that you need to be concerned about. This right here is called the border. It goes all the way around. It's the darkest line on the entire paper. Down here, this is the title block. We're going to use a pre-made format for now, but hopefully later on in the school year, we'll create our own templates to have our own information. I will be changing some of that information in here today. So let's go ahead and get that started. I want to change the information here in title and right here down in drawing number. So go ahead and take a look at the second page, and I'll walk you step by step through this. So I'm going to go ahead and go through those steps right here, right now. Now, what I'm going to be using is this thing right here where it says sheet 1. So in order for me to edit this, because right now I cannot edit this, I have to be able to edit the format. So I'm going to go, or edit the sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mouse over here to sheet 1, second bullet point of editing the sheet. Right click, and I'm going to go to edit sheet format. Now watch what happens. You'll notice right now that all the lines for the title block are gray. When I hit this, they'll turn blue. Poof. Not only do they turn blue, but we have metadata that has popped up. You're thinking, okay, what is metadata? Well, remember, you have 3 different types of documents in SOLIDWORKS. You have parts, you have assemblies, and you have drawings. Those three are related to each other. We can have one of them and we can create the other two from that one file. Any information that's created in one, let's say for our discussion's sake, the part, all the information in the parts file is drug over here and dropped into the drawing file. That's metadata. It's the overall data that is shared by all the different types of documents. Right here, we have not declared anything as to where that is. I have to figure that part out. So it doesn't have anything written down here, but this is our actual file name. So we're going to change this and we're going to change this. So let's deal with this first, the actual title. So just like in the directions, you're going to go here to title. You're going to double click in here because this is a note box. And if you take a look at the upper part of my screen, you'll notice I've got annotation clicked open and you see note. Well, that's what this is. But I can edit this because this is already created. So I'm going to go ahead and double click to activate the window. And a couple of things happened. As you can see, the property manager changed over here. I also have a secondary formatting menu that opened up. Everything turned black and then the letters turned yellow. So this is now just like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. I'm going to go ahead and change this to chain link project, just like it says in the directions. That's it. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to click somewhere out here and I'll close the box. Come right down here. We're going to change this too. I'm going to double click. And we're going to get rid of all this stuff here, and you're going to use your first and last name. However, there's probably about a 97 to 99% chance that your first and last name is not going to fit in the little bitty box where the line is right there and where the line is right there. So use your first initial and last name. First initial, last name. Yeah, I'll use my actual first initial. Click outside the box. And now we have Chain Link Project. We know what it is. And we know who it belongs to. Now, when we opened up this sheet format, you'll notice that right over here, this little button came up. This is the finish drawing button. This is the finish sheet button, which is very, very similar, has almost the exact same task as the drawing button does in our parts file. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, just like it says in the directions. And now all the stuff has now disappeared. These lines are now gray. And I'm now ready to edit my sheet and start bringing in all my different views. That's going to be in another video. I need to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to come up here, go to File, Save As. I want to add some information here. 3PP, which stands for 3-point perspective or 3-point projection. An old school, really old school drawing for machinists. Make sure that I have my thumb drive selected and I'm in the 08 project file. Also notice that the file extension is SLD DRW. So that means SolidWorks drawing. I'm going to click Save. And that's all I need to do. That is the end of this particular part of this project and the end of this video. Part 2 will be adding the different views as well as notes and measurements.